All right, so I'm sorry I'm not here. I will answer more questions on tomorrow, on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I see you next. But all we're doing is more domain and range. So I would love for you to pause it, try the first one, and then I will walk you through it, and then do the same thing with the second and third. So the first one, I'm going to do the top left graph, and then, so pause it and do those, or do all three, and then we will talk about the domain and range. Remember that the second graph, if there's nothing there, it is a arrow, okay? So you can put that arrow on that second one to make it a little bit easier for you. All right, so pause it, and then we'll talk about it. So here's your domain. Remember, we go from left to right, so think about your little foldy chart. So I fold it here, and I go up until -5. Okay, so I go from the left, and I go -5. So this gives me, it's an open circle, so it's a parenthesis, -5, and then I go over here, and I cover it, and it goes until 1. And it's also a parenthesis because it's an open circle. Then I go from bottom to top. So I flip it over the bottom, and it flips all the way to a 1. And it does touch it, so it is a 1. And then I go from the top, and I go to 4. And 4 has open circles, so then it looks like this. So that is my domain and range for this graph. Now I go over here, go from the left, starts at -2, so my domain, -2, and it should be a parenthesis because it's an open circle. And then I go from here, from the right side, and it goes to an arrow. Remember, if there's an arrow, it is a parenthesis, and it goes to infinity. Okay? My range, go from the bottom, starts at 0. That means, it touches, so it's a bracket, touches 0. And then on the top, it goes to an arrow. So if it's an arrow, that means it's infinity. Infinities are always parentheses. So there's your first two. This one's a little bit trickier. So you want to go from the left, and it starts at 0, and it is a closed circle, so it's a bracket. And then we look, and this touches each other. So I go from here, so it's at a 3. And it is a closed circle, so it's a bracket. The reason it's different from our notes yesterday, or on Friday, was because there is a point. It just isn't the top point, it isn't here, it's down here. Okay? So now my range, I go from the bottom, which is a 0, and it touches, so it's a bracket. And then I want to double check to make sure this meets, yep, and this meets, yep. So I go from the top, and it does touch at 3. It's this point, just not this one, but it does meet at the other one. So that means that it goes to 3, and it does touch. Oh, I should get rid of all my scribbles. 3, bracket. So range is my y values, which means it's a horizontal line, okay? So I just double check to make sure they all meet. That is your domain and range. You have an assignment you're going to do. Ask each other, work with each other, and I will answer questions on Tuesday, check all the assignments on Tuesday, and then we will learn something new on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I see you. All right. Have a good class. Bye.